Here it is, finally, after a week in customs, the review of Dark of the Moon Leader Class Ironhide. He's a nice, big, hefty truck. Big truck. Here's my hand. Big truck. And he rolls. Hooray, hooray. Whee! Look at him roll. Anyway, other than that, you can kind of see his fists inside there, inside the cockpit. The cab, some details, but all in all, a nice, sturdy, big top kick. He does have some weapons, and over here on this side, you just pull back on these smokestacks, and weapons pop up on top. Now, this arm, you can see there's his rotary cannon that he's had in just about every incarnation. On this side, I'm wondering if this side, we saw him lose a cannon on this arm in Revenge of the Fallen. Maybe he's replaced it. Maybe this is not actually screen accurate, but this one seems like to me like it's more of the mech tech. Like we saw, like in one of the trailers, we saw Bumblebee, the top of his car start to flip open and the weapon flip up. And this seems to be more like I could totally see him like driving down the road, and oh, there's a Decepticon, and whoosh, having a cannon like that pop up. It's just kind of squarish and small. Maybe he's got a new cannon in the movie. Maybe this is just his vehicle mode cannon that they just for ends up in his robot mode for convenience's sake on this mold. Who knows? But it's definitely a different cannon than he usually has on his right arm. But it just pops up like that. The only this one has some spring-loaded canopies, so when this goes down, the springs automatically close these things. This one actually is hinged back here, and it's actually just leverage as it slides out that makes it pop up and fold down. And as such, it's a little loose. It's not a huge deal because in truck mode, he doesn't drive around like this. But yeah, it's certain positions in robot mode that panel will like to flap down if you don't have the gun deployed. It's a minor drawback because having this be a little loose does make this a lot more fluid and a lot easier to pull off. And it's kind of fun and cool. Also, there's a button right back here that, I don't know if you can hear that. It kind of sounds like idling truck noises. Like some air brakes or... Yeah, just kind of a sputtering engine type noise. Up there's the underside. You can see his chest. And his legs here. At first, well, we'll get into that in robot mode. But yeah, all in all, a nice, sturdy, solid vehicle mode. Some neat weapon gimmicks that, unlike Bumblebee, they're not a separate piece you have to snap onto him. They're fairly well integrated into vehicle mode and then just pop up at will when you pull on the smokestacks. So it's kind of cool. Now, transformation. It's not a really hard transformation here. It's relatively simple for a leader class, especially after figures like Revenge of the Fallen Prime and Starscream and some of the other ones. So I like to start back here with the legs, just kind of grab the whole back end, pull them down. There are the legs. Just like that. And then these panels right here, the sides you want to pull. Well, actually, we're going to start up here. You want to pull the canopy up, just like this. You don't want to get this piece flap caught. That's a drawback to that piece being so loose. You want to get just this canopy bit up. And that will, sometimes you can actually, as you lift that up, hit that button. It happens. Then go ahead and flip these panels on the sides up. I understand you like to make car noises. And then the arms unpeg from right under here. And just bring them out and down, like that. And come under here. The legs just separate. Oh, enough already with the car noises. This panel right here flips up like that. You want to rotate his legs around at the knee. And then just flip his foot down. He doesn't seem to have any ankle piece, which is, he's sturdy and he stands okay, but like, I would have expected maybe a little bit more of an ankle part to flip out there, but I haven't been able to find anything that does that. But anyway, again, rotate his leg around, bring the foot down, and his toes are posable, so you can bring his toes flat on the ground, and then the ankles do pivot a little bit, like that. You will see his legs don't bend, don't completely straighten. So he's always kind of at a little bit of a bent leg pose. This leg has a pretty good range of movement on the knee. This leg, it's blocked by, there's this little angled panel right here. This little piece right here blocks the knee from going more than one click back. You could easily cut that. You could pull this piece out, cut that away, and have it give him a little bit more range of motion. But I haven't felt the need to do that yet. So you get him standing in the upper body here. Let me bring the camera up. Go ahead and pop the bumper up like that. And then these pieces right here come loose. And they might literally come loose. They're just attached to a little ball joint here. And this ball joint up here likes to pop out of this gray joint here. But basically you just bring this down and you'll see this is where the grill used to plug in, and you're going to attach it to the fake grill here on his chest. You just kind of bring it, angle it down, and plug it in like that. And then just take the wheel. Actually, you want to leave the wheel up for a minute. Bring the arm up right here. There's a gray slot up here for this tab right here to tab into. You just bring it up like this and snap it into place. Bring the arm down. You want to bring the arm down this way so the screw stays in the back like that. And then fold this panel in half, and then you can take the wheel and you just push it, just snap it up like that, and then this piece on the back of the front just kind of folds down like that. You just bend his arm forward, rotate it around, and then this piece folds under, and there's a little tab right here on this piece that's going to tab into a slot right here on the other side of the arm. So you just fold this under like this and plug it in like that. It doesn't lock, but it does fit into the slot there. And then you just do the same for the other side. Lift this up, bring it down, and plug it in right there like that. Bring the arm up and tab it in. Bring it around. Fold up the wheel. Fold in this piece right here. Then fold this panel in half, and fold it up under the arm until it tabs in. And again, this side does not tab in super tight either, but it does tab in enough to stay in place. And then on the back, there's a tab right here on the windshield that tabs right up in here into his back. There's a little slot right there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there we go. There's a slot right here. So you just bring this up, tab it right in there like that, and this piece folds up and then down against the windshield. So he does have some car bits here on his back, but they actually don't make a huge backpack. They fold up fairly nice. So that's cool. It's just a matter of getting him to balance here. And you have now successfully transformed Ironhide to robot mode. Alright, so now that he's in robot mode, he does have a bit of a wide stance. His legs do like to slide out a little bit. You can slide him back in. And part of it's because he's on a really flat surface. If he were on a surface with some more texture, his legs wouldn't slide out like that. But you can see he does kind of already have a little bend to his legs. And overall pretty cool. He has no waist swivel, unfortunately, but he does have some nice ratcheting hips in both directions, a ratcheting knee. It's like a really tight ratchets on the knee, and very decent ratcheting ankles. So he supports himself very well in robot mode. And I like overall just his overall design. He's nice and stocky, and he looks powerful, even before we get into the weapons. He's just a nice looking robot. And of course you can, just like before, deploy the arm weapons. Same method, just pull out on the smokestacks back here. And here's what I'm talking about. Like, here he's okay, but if you have the arm in certain positions, this will automatically like to flop around a little bit. But if you have him just kind of like this, it's not too bad. We can flip out these guns. And on top of that, he's got, if you open up this, it opens and raises up a little knife here in his leg, which is really cool. And he can hold that in his hand. And then this leg, when you pull it open, it automatically opens and flips out a missile launcher. So he's got like a, it flips up, it actually flips forward. My finger keeps getting in the way, I'm blocking it. But it actually flips all the way forward so he can fire the missile launcher from his leg if you so choose. Or you can actually, it's designed so you can actually pop this thing off. And he does have a, again, it's a firing missile. It doesn't fire like super effectively, but it does have a handle on it, so you can have him hold it like a gun. And if you, and it looks a little short, but if you push it all the way in, he does hold it actually quite well and quite sturdily. You just have to make sure you push that all the way in. He also does have a couple of the connection points from vehicle mode up here that can hold the 5mm pegs. So if you want, you can give him a little shoulder cannon missile if you so choose. And you can plug in any 5mm MechTech weapon as well up on these posts. So you can arm Ironhide however you see fit. And those are only, like his hands and these posts up here are so far are the only MechTech attachment points I've found. It's not to say there aren't more hiding. I just haven't found any yet. I haven't noticed any clip system points on him either. Although again, for a leader class figure, that's not entirely unsurprising since most of the weapons would be out of scale anyway. Now, sound effects. If you push this lever right here on his back, right behind his head, my thumb's getting in the way there. He's got a little spinning machine gun, or you can also grab it right here and just use this as a lever to spin that out, and it'll keep making that noise as long as you hold it out. There's a little LED light up on top, and the thing spins. This piece, if you push the lever up here, this piece I find tends to, if you don't have this down a little bit, will get in the way of these panels closing back up. They're on springs, but they don't spring this piece out quite far enough it blocks it basically coming back. So either use this to spring it, or just make sure that's down before you do it, and you're fine on that. Now, a lot of people were complaining about how much of his eyes were painted blue, and his eyes are actually like a... I can't tell if they're molded blue or they're molded the green they light up, but there's an LED behind there, so they're not painted, and his eyes actually look quite nice in person. He does have this face mask gimmick, and there's a lever here on the back of his head that you can use to lower the mask. He says, "Weapons ready," and Ironhide here. It's clearly not Jess Harnell doing the voice, unfortunately. But it's actually honestly not even that great of a voice. But considering how awesome the rest of the figure is, I'm willing to let that go. Also, you can activate it by pushing this button on his chest. You can, if you slide his head forward a little bit, get that mask to stay down a little bit, but the minute you turn his head, it's going to pop back up. There's no way of locking that mask down that I found so far, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to do a separate video probably showing how to remove it, because it's actually really simple to just come back here, unscrew the back of his head, and then this whole lever and mouthpiece pops right off, so you can have him looking... if you don't like that mouth plate, you can have him with just his regular mouth, without having that piece. You can take it right out, and it doesn't affect posability or anything. Once you screw it all back together, you'll have a little bit of a gap here in the back of his head, but again, you're not really. It's kind of even hidden behind all this stuff back here, so you're not even really going to notice if you do decide to remove the mask. Now the arms have got a lot of joints in them. You can get some decent poses. They're blocked a little bit in their forward motion. They can rotate forward just fine, but you can't really bring them in much more than this just because of the way the wheels are. But you still get a little bit more range of motion on him than you do on the Voyager. So that's nice. like I said, my biggest issue I think is these panels under his arms. There's just a lot of panel there, but overall he's a really nice solid figure. I like him. I think he might be the best leader so far from Dark of the Moon, and that's saying something because I really like Sentinel Prime, but there's just something about. And maybe once I see the movie and become a little bit more attached to Sentinel Prime, if he's got a good character, I'll like him more. But Ironhide's been with us from the beginning, and he's finally got this really nice figure here. Definitely worth picking up. If you only get, if you get 2 leaders from Dark of the Moon, get him and Sentinel first. I think Bumblebee would be the third choice, unless you're just really, really into Bumblebee. But I have to say, like, if you only get one, I have now changed my mind on that. Get Ironhide. He really is. He's got a slightly simplistic transformation compared to some leaders, but he's just a lot of fun. He's really nice to look at. He displays nicely. Just a good, solid figure. He is nice and solid. There's something else I was going to mention about him, and now I can't remember what it was. Well, maybe I'll remember if I keep talking about it. But he is just a really nice chunk of figure here. Do a quick size comparison. Here he is with his Revenge of the Fallen Voyager counterpart. A lot of black on black there. That's kind of hard to see, but and he is right up against him here. He's not. Here they are exactly side by side. Just to get a difference of the scale between the two. And if you want to, you can also add in the previous deluxe Ironhide. So, kind of cool. And here he is next to Leader Optimus. As you see, he's a little bit shorter than Leader Optimus, but he feels like a bigger figure because, like I said, he's a little shorter than Optimus, but he's definitely got more. He's got broader shoulders. You can see his head's bigger proportionally. He's just got a lot more bulk than Optimus. And Optimus has a little bit extra bulk because of this, third-party gun I've got on here. But he's definitely right up there. I mean, he doesn't feel cheaper than Optimus just because he's a little bit shorter. He's definitely got some serious bulk going on to him. So yeah, definitely recommended. Definitely worth picking up. Keep an eye on the channel. I might have a contest soon where you can win your own Leader Ironhide. And I'm sure some of you would be interested in that. So yeah. There you have it. Dark of the Moon Leader Class Ironhide.